Happy Monday, everybody. Sean Tierney here from Insights in Automation. I hope your Monday is going great. Of course, we're doing the live streams now right at 12 o'clock and 12:30 on Tuesdays and Thursdays and Fridays. So I hope you're enjoying the day. We do members only shows at 12 o'clock on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So in any case, whichever show you catch, I appreciate it. Whether you're catching us live, you can chat. I get to chat up, or you can watch it after work or maybe in the morning. We do appreciate you tuning in. And if you do enjoy these shows, please give us a like because that really helps us grow the audience and find new vendors to cover and to come on the shows and so on. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump right in. And first up here, just a reminder that you can vote early. Yes, you can vote early in the most important poll in industrial automation, the Automation Blog's Audience Choice Poll. I'm joking a little bit here, but in any case, this allows you to tell me what you want me to cover next year. And today I just put up the poll about which SCADA product you prefer. I try to go through and find all of the top products, people who've been on the show, people I know of just from being in this industry for over 30 years. And of course, you can add your own vendor if you don't see them on the list. But again, we have had some vendors in the past come in and just spam the polls. We're asking vendors not to do that. If you watch the show, if you're an audience member, it doesn't matter if you're a vendor, an OEM, an end user, you can vote in the poll, but we ask you just to vote once. And again, today is SCADA. What's your favorite SCADA package? Is it FactoryTalk View, WinCC, Ignition? Is it, we've had so many people on, TatSoft's Framework X. Is it, there's a lot of people who haven't been on too that are in that poll. And so please vote on that. You can also vote on Fridays. We had which HMI do you prefer? That one took a long time to research because most of vendors, like take Siemens for instance, they have like 4 different lines. So does Rockwell, right? They have the older gen, they got the new gen. So please vote in these polls. Let me know what you want me to cover next year, what you prefer. And of course, there's links at the bottom of every single poll so you can go and see all the ones. Right now we have 6 released so far. I'm planning more on Wednesday, Friday, and then next week. And you'll be able to vote right up into the day before Thanksgiving. So don't wait until Thanksgiving because you'll probably be busy. But in any case, so I wanted to cover that today too. And let's go over now, okay, to the news from the news. And probably the top story, the product that really stood out to me the most was this new industrial PC from Pills. So Pills, I don't know them as being industrial PC. I think of them as safety, right? But in any case, these are very interesting because they can either be used as an IIoT gateway or as a soft PLC, and they're Raspberry Pi based. So I thought that was very interesting. And again, all the links, well, I'll show you where they're going to be after the show, but they'll be at theautomationblog.com. From there, P&F. Now, we had P&F on the show. Our good friend of the show, RC, was on talking about the USI safety ultrasonic sensor system. That was the first ever ultrasonic used in a safety application that they knew of that we could ever find too. So in any case, but now P&F has this new, just standard industry ultrasonic sensor. And this unit has, you can have up to 2 heads, and they're not built into the base unit, which is cool if you need to put them remotely or in a small area. So that was the second story. Excuse me. Next up, Mitsubishi. We've not had on the show for a number of years, but we're still a fan of and still follow. They have a new robot they launched. It's a low-cost robot. It's the RV12CRL. And this Melfa robot is the one with the longest reach and the highest payload in this particular product family. So I thought that was another interesting new product out. And then over at Aviva, now we've invited them on the show many times. We always get crickets, but we're still going to cover them. And they're InTouch. You can now get InTouch starting at just $17.95. That's 1,000 tags. And that seems like a good price. Let me know what you guys think. But if you want to just kind of get into something, maybe you have a small HMI, PC-based HMI project you're working on, and maybe you later on will grow it to be like a $10,000, unlimited tag system. Well, I thought that was very interesting. From there, we had a couple interesting, we don't get new news from Advantech in our industry all the time, but there was 2 things that happened last week that I thought were interesting. First of all, they released their ARM system ready, IR certified touch panel PCs. So these are typically going to be Linux based applications you're going to run on these, but I thought that was interesting. Everybody knows about ARM and how Intel and AMD with their x86 platforms kind of competing while also making ARM products, also competing in that space with their x86 products. And then they also released this, which I thought was interesting, because of AI, right? And its requirement that it needs typically lots of horsepower, like MPUs or GPUs. Advantech released or updated their IPC 730, and this is a big industrial PC that can take full-length GPU cards. And so I thought that was interesting. That guy's a beast. And from there, Synco's, not to be left out, I believe that's the way you pronounce it, they had an article detailing the 3 different lines of industrial HMIs they have. And, they have the standard line that they would use on a machine like that one there. They also had one that's a high-bright model, so sunlight readable, which is important in those outdoor applications. And then the last one was the one open frame for like OEMs to integrate into their machines. So I thought that was interesting. And another interesting new product was the new smart IP67 power supplies from Turk. And these things have I/O link. They have a lot of diagnostics on the front of the unit, and pretty cool stuff there. Now, over at SMC, they had released, and they constantly update their products. And a lot of times they update their products and they keep the price the same, which I'm a big fan of. So in any case, they had 3 new products that they were detailing last week. This one is their clamp-on flow sensor. Okay, and this supports the 8 zeros: 0 piping, 0 leakage, 0 clogging, and so on. I thought that's interesting marketing. IP65, IP67, and I/O link. Look at that bright display right there. Very cool stuff. They also had air cylinder update, the rod types. You can see them right there, as well as updated E actuators. Now these are slider, rod, and guide type. So you can see that right down there. And from there, if you ever want to know what's happening in the news, we do have a listing over at theautomationblog.com where you'll see all of the news shows and all of the links for all the news shows. Now, some of the links are for members only, but if we cover it in a public show like this, you'll find it there. Of course, What's New in Automation has its separate list, so we'll have all the links from today's show in this episode over at theautomationblog.com. And I also wanted to talk about theautomationschool.com. We have already had 8 training sessions here in my new offices. I wanted to show you the setup here. This is the setup for Allen Bradley. I had some people ask about the Kinetics. I do not cover the Kinetics yet. These are actually very old Kinetics that are in this this trainer. But we typically do like the L30s and the 5370s, 5380s, and 5570s. Have not the 5580s are extremely expensive, more than it would cost for you to send a whole group of people here for a full week. So in any case, if you're looking for affordable in-person training, we can even customize it. We do need a little time for customization. So if you need to get people in here within 7 or 10 days, we're not going to be able to do a lot of new stuff for you. But if you were looking out maybe a month or 2 and you're like, Sean, I need you to cover this. I know you haven't covered it yet in any of your courses. We can definitely talk to you about that. And in any case, you can see the room set up with Siemens. I just put these trainers together. One of the things I don't like about the public trainers out there that you can buy is, they have their ritzy, they're fancy, they have all kinds of flashing lights, but you really can't do a lot of programming exercises with them because they don't have a lot of I/O, right? And so in any case, with these trainers, I use all 16 inputs, I use 12 outputs, and I try to like walk through, like not just, starting a motor or making a light flash, but actually like writing code so that you can actually automate a process to make so many parts, and so on. So, really get deeper into it. We also do, when we have advanced students in the class who they work through the lab book and they're like, all right, I got a little time left. We also have subscriptions too available to us from Factory IO, and I'm actually a reseller for Factory IO. So that allows you to do the 3D machines as well. And I have more coming on that. I'm actually working on a course on that. I'm going to be integrating into all of my existing courses as well. So if you're in one of my courses, stay tuned. You will see new lessons coming based on Factory IO. It's just a fun product, and it's not a digital twin. We have been working with some digital twin software, but I did want to integrate it into the existing courses just to really drive home the knowledge we share. We did have somebody say, hey, a course where you don't learn how to wire isn't very worthwhile. Then I'm like, there are no courses, factory courses on PLCs that I've ever heard of in 34 plus years where they actually have you wire up the PLCs. However, I know some people who are doing this in their part-time, and maybe they're not electricians. They do want that kind of guidance, right? Maybe they struggle reading an electrical diagram. So we are gonna continue on the series we give to our students at no charge, on how to build your own demo stand, your own, and especially since I just built these up. I learned a lot of things you don't want to do, when you build your own trainer, and you can buy all the parts right off websites, online websites, have them delivered right to your house. You don't have to stand in line at an automation distributor and then get told you're not big enough to do business with them, which we've heard a lot of people telling us lately that these big time distributors don't want to deal with the onesie twosie people, which is, hey, it's a free world. You can do whatever you want in your business. But in any case, so we'll be continuing that. We got several lessons in that. We'll be continuing that with more information. I hope to make the templates for this stuff all available to you guys, so you don't have to go through and design your own. When I, look at it, it kind of you get a weird perspective when you do that pan of the room. It makes it look like this one is completely flat. But in any case, all right. So what's next here? The automation podcast, right? If you missed it last week, we had ProSoft on. We had Dennis back on to talk about the DF1 router, to Ethernet IP router. Now, he did do an entire line overview, and I didn't ask for that. So if you're looking for the DF1 to Ethernet IP router, you may have to skip ahead a little bit, scrub ahead a little bit. But in any case, it is a really cool product. It's another one of those replacements, and we've covered them from RTI and other RTI. RTA, real-time automation, and other people, but it can be used to replace the old ENI from Rockwell, which we don't even have one. That's just, when these things go obsolete, the prices, the used market goes way up. Like the Micrologix 1100, believe it or not, it's cheaper to buy the 1400 now used and then do a 1-year subscription to Rockwell's online software than to buy an 1100 and use the free software, which is ridiculous, but it is the way it is, right? In any case, so that was last week's. And then this week, we have a new one from a major SCADA vendor, the minds behind Indusoft, before that was sold off and went into the new hands. But in any case, very interesting one coming up this week. So stay tuned for that. And that one is sponsored, so no commercials, which I love. I'm not a big fan of commercials. And but you got to keep, the lights don't stay on by themselves. I wish they would, but there's bills to pay, right? If you have a business. From there, the automation Q&A, if you missed it, I did cover a lot of ground last week on Friday. So if you missed that, that is up. The question of the week, I answered a question of somebody had on Facebook. So they were asking this question about USB drivers for compact lodges. I covered that in the public one, and for the members, guys, I covered a bunch of questions that had come in over the week. So check that out if you want to see those. And again, students get access to that question of the Q&A too. So you guys can check it out. You get like hours and hours of additional training at no additional charge. And also, when we look at the content schedule, I know I have yet to update this to be 12 o'clock. We're now going just 12 o'clock for the first show, and then 12:30 for the second, just because I find myself sitting here for 5 minutes. So we're not going to do 12:05 anymore. So that's going to be 12 o'clock. But you can see here today, what's new in automation. We recap the top news from the week, as well as tell you what's coming. Of course, we get the news show at 12 o'clock tomorrow, and then headlines at 12:30. We got Wednesday, we got the automation podcast I just talked to you about. That always comes out at 3:30. We got some exciting vendors we're talking to about coming on to that. Some sponsored, some unsponsored. You know what? That's just a bonus for our members. They get extra videos. The automation show a minute. I had some samples sent to me that weren't sponsored, so I'll be breaking off the automation show member edition, where it's not tied to doing one on the automation minute and one on the automation show. That's some future stuff coming up. But so we will still have the automation minute continue to go, but in some cases we won't be doing it. I'll just be doing it for the members. I'll kind of split that up as a different series of the automation show. Thursday again we have the show and the headlines, and then Friday is again the automation Q&A live, the question of the week, and then the office hours for students only of the automation school. If you're enrolled in a course that costs over $35, go ahead and check that out. Again, that is a Teams meeting that any student can jump into. And I don't know of anybody else in the industry that does this. I mean, a lot of people publish, it's like publish and forget type of online courses. They spend a few weeks, they design a course, they publish it, and that's it. We don't do that at the automationschool.com. We've been in business over 10 years. And not only do we do in-person courses, we take care of our online. We have people who have bought our courses over 10 years ago, and we still answer their questions today. They don't have to pay an annual fee. And we just gave all the PLC students a free PLC simulator. And we also do this office hours. Any student, it doesn't matter when you bought the course. If you're a student at theautomationschool.com and a course over $35 today, because a lot of those courses started out less than that, you get access to me an hour every week. That is not a vacation or a holiday or something. So with that, if you do enjoy these episodes, please give us a like. It's the best way for me to know whether or not what I'm doing is, the views a lot of times don't tell the story. The engagement, the likes really tell us, hey, you should keep doing this. If you get 10 or 12 or 30 likes, then hey, there's a good amount of people out there who are not just putting some background music on. They actually do enjoy the show. And then you can see over here at theautomationblog.com/follow, you can see all of the different places you can find our content. And with that, I think that wraps it up. Here you can find out more information about becoming a member over at theautomationblog.com/join. 1 cup of coffee a week or $9.99 a month to get all of those 4+ private shows, members only shows, subscriber only shows a week. So with that, I think I'm done. I think that's everything we wanted to cover today. I hope you're having an awesome day. I want to wish you all good health and happiness. And until next time, my friends, peace.